Good morning. So, it's been a minute since I posted, but what's been going on lately is, I just quit my job. I just left yesterday. So, it was a love story fully. Sorry, I just woke up. It was a love story fully. So my boss, who, took me off the street in that full situation. I was very close to him and very thankful for that place. However, here's the story. So, my boss had a big tumor on the back of his head. It just held a lot of energy, you know what I mean? And one of the coworkers, the son, blurted it out to pop the thing or whatever, and it just caused a lot of attention and curiosity to what this bump on the back of his head was. My dad used to have them all the time. My dad's had them before, however, he had lymphoma, okay? So, it was something that, my dad had a lot of head tumors, so it was just a lot of energy of people looking at it. I knew how to dodge it myself, but even it was just on the floor. So, one day, he got it removed, okay? So, when he left and got this tumor looked at on the back of his head, right? And I'm saying it was a big tumor on the back of his head, okay? He came back very dark and flat and hairline sensitive, and so I knew exactly what it was. So I started to write him letters, scripture. I would just stay around the shop. I went complete overtime just to be around him more. Alongside it did slip that his actual son worked at the other location. So I got maneuvered to the other location due to him needing more help. So I got transferred to the other location. And while at the other location, it's different. I didn't really like it. And one day, my boss put the drive-through headphones on me, okay? So this place called Galveston is still stuck in time. It's very back in time. I'm saying 1700s, Renaissance. It's very back in time, okay? So nothing's really updated. It's just a back in time beach place. And my boss put these headphones on me, and at first I felt their whole exciting situations of I'm an astronaut, dad, I have headphones on. It went to the whole it went to the whole astronaut and to ENT and stuff. But I wore them for 3 minutes. I went into one room, went to the other, and went back into the other, and I had a headache. And I had a very odd situation, a situation that I was not comfortable, at all what was put on me, you know what I mean? Everything in my, good ways of purity were just, tilted. It was just a weird tilt, So, it was a very weird tilt on my comfortability. It was a very weird tilt on my comfortability, and I took them off. Thankfully, I just was uneasy. I was I don't really like these. They gave me a really immediate headache. Maybe they were something to get used to, and then about a week after that, I never was able to put them on. I never got them put on me after the uneasiness. The room, I felt every time I was tense in a room, it was uneasy. Then we had a coworker. I had to cover a shift. I had to cover a shift for a boy because he went to the doctor and it turns out that he got placed on unusual disability. He had developed a mental disability. Okay. And then I don't know what it was. Like everyone was like thrown off. Like no one really understood, and he was like really cute. You know what I mean? So yeah. And then there was another coworker there that his eyes were never unread, bro. Like his eyes were so piercing red all the time. And like he leaned on it that he was just like slammed on anything. But like that's the thing, when he like could try to pick up that he wasn't slammed, because he actually wasn't slammed, he was just very muddy, bro. Like just, you know what I mean? And the room was just very like sludgy, you know. And one day my boss went to put his headphones down underneath the counter. I noticed that these headphones aren't satellite. They're these big rusty batteries, bro. Like they're these big, like, you know, like the bunny that like hits the drums. They're like batteries, you know what I mean? Like they're like these weird thick juicy batteries, and they're like stuck on this thing that like charged underneath, like the next to the cash register. And they just like weren't like, they were like, yeah, they were like the first headsets ever made. They were like these big juicy fat like rusty batteries. And when he bent over to put them underneath the table, I noticed that this big ass battery that's been on his head for the last like 9 hours was right on his tumor on the back. Like right, literally here, like this, like if this ball was his tumor, that was active, and like here was his thing. And like I I kept everything in the house like went to like ivory design, bro. Like of, and I was like, Mr. Sergio, isn't that battery right on your cancer? And the roof just completely like toppled down. And his son saw. And overall in the weeks, the kid with the disability, he quit. He left over a lunch break because the vibe was so loud. Like it was so sludgy. People were like deciding whether to put these headphones on. They're like, well, if our boss has cancer, I'll go through it. And I'm like, bro, like it's my thing to like your free will. Like why would you choose it to be like on a side of like the wrong side, you know what I mean? If your free will, I would be holding on to the dude that left on lunch break, you know what I mean? And like every time someone put like a headphone on, it's like the room stopped, like of your suicidal decision, you know what I mean? Like he's already got cancer. Like you don't have to come in and tag with it and like play this whole Russian roulette thing, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? It's not like, it's practically being like, hey, you know, yeah, like once you got cancer, you know what I mean? Once you got brain cancer, it turned out being full brain cancer. He's been loyal. He left at a lunch. My boss left at a, let's finish the last thing. If he's already had cancer, like once you get it, you're not going to be thinking about the dude that had, like, you're not going to be thinking about the boss. You're going to be thinking about, like literally, I can't believe like I did that. Like you were just kind of set up for the sake of like sympathy and like this whole Cinderella story, but that's not a Cinderella story. So like my free will was to the sake that I left and didn't come back, you know what I mean? So my boss, he left after I pointed that out for a lunch break, and he didn't come back with his son. I'm guessing that you know, he texted me in just practically over, like, going over if I could cover it and I don't have to put the headphones on. I said that I will not put those headphones on. And I just practically held onto this wall of sludge. There's just like falling waterfall of just mud, bro, behind me. Cause like every person was practically dying in there. You know what I mean? Like they had the option to take it off, but then they were just like, they were going through this whole mind game. Like they refused to take it off because they were like, bro, the dude with the red eyes, he was like, his, like, so brain dead, bro. He was so brain dead. Like I forgot his name. Hold on. Yeah, and like he had the option, like all of them had the option in between orders to take their headphones off, you know what I mean? Or like on lunch break, and like you knew who was like either leaning onto the hopelessness of like how far it's gone, or like you know what I mean, like testimonies, or like it was nuts, man, like getting checkups and things like that. And like it's just the communication, like the internal communication, when they put those headphones on, it just went on a whole nother zone of like, I'll see you when you get here in the morning, because like it's gonna take those off and then like sleep, you know what I mean? So my boss, after I pointed that out, he left with his son. He didn't come back because I'm pretty sure that they were getting some drinks and a lot of emotions, because he was texting me about how loyal he's been to this. Not only was it his home, but it was like his mom, you know what I mean? He's been loyal to this motherhood for like 35 years, and I'm like, yo, like he's been having this battery just suckling on his brain like a spider, bro, like a freaking octopus. Like you could see, it's like when you can like look at it, like the roots would just become dark, like his roots would just become dark on the back of that tumor, you know? So yeah, and he's just been loyal to it, and betrayed, that's what he said. He feels betrayed. Yeah, so what I did, he couldn't fire me, and I couldn't leave, man. I couldn't leave, but I had to. I finally told my family what was going on. They go, Amanda, your dad had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma all while you were growing up. When I was born, I had a tumor in my neck that had to be removed. Like, the sake that I'm even in the same room, like, I'm catching radiation. Like, zombie, bro. Like, it was so zombie. Like, everything was wrong when I got to that location. Like, everything was wrong. Yeah, so the mention of just loyalty and betrayal, and, you know, what did I say to him? There was one morning where I was saying I was going through a heartbreak, and he was like, Amanda, I've gone through a breakup so many years ago and I'm still heartbroken. We made sweet tea that morning. He hung out with me. But I still hold that conversation now. That the purest love is Christ, because no matter what, worldly love will drop you, bro. What I did was I wrapped up the whole floor, and I actually said goodbye to the son. And my boss, he just couldn't do anything. He couldn't say anything because I was so far out of the house. Like, it's like I was in a world of just darkness, and I could only see, like, I could only breathe through like a hole in the sky, or like look at clouds, and it's like they were blocked behind them. And so one day I asked his son, I was like, okay, because they could feel that I was gonna leave and I wasn't gonna come back. It was our payday. I got a one check in my pocket right now. They took care of me very well. It was $800. I think they overdid it, maybe. I think my boss overdid it for me. Like, maybe put a training check on there or something like that, because they could feel that I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I gave them that I couldn't be in there for the lymphoma, and then they were wading through radiation, bro. Like, and there's just a lot of internal, external conflict with the sake of their decisions with standing next to the microwaves and or just keeping it on through lunch break and just like looking at me or just like looking at each other like whose side, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a romance anymore. It was just suicide, bro. And then it was just like, bro, how far have I gone in this? You know what I mean? What did I tell my dad? Why did I text my dad? Love. Yeah, it's not. So, yeah, I did leave after a shift, and, the son, which was, like, my new best friend, he did ask me, like, you know, what are you doing this weekend? You know? Yeah, it was just talk with the headphones and how to get out. Go, I don't know. But, they do have these, water gallons that he gifted me. He goes, I know that you like drinking gallons, and this one has no label to it because it's a catering gallon, so it's completely like there's no trademark, there's no nothing on it. It's like my new favorite gallon. And he goes, maybe you can like he like option of like me painting it or like bedazzling it or something like that for the gym, because he said he's always wanted to go with me and hang out and stuff like that. Like, we talked about it a lot. And then he like gifted it to me, and he got really sad, and I told him I loved them. Oh, I love y'all. You know, and just hinted like, you know, this place could be shut down. If there's no workers there, then it would be shut down. Like, there was no facility there, then it would be shut down, you know. I offered I would even pay, like, I would pay for the drive-through speaker for them, but then everyone was like, no, it would be rebuilt. Like, I was like, you guys, you know, you don't, like, you have the option to go. You know, if this place had no workers, then they would have to shut it down. So, I left, and I drove 2 hours. It was like 3, because I had to go through Houston, so I drove 3 hours. 2 hours. I drove 2 hours. And I got to my parents' house. I had to drop off my guitar and stuff like that. I was like, yo, I just need to declutter. And I had one check, so I kind of had more of a way to get a job. I do still feel pulled to go down there. I'm like halfway right now. And I dropped off my things and I went back. No one is expecting me. Like, bro, I couldn't. Like, I just could not stop thinking about the sun and the boss, bro. Like, I just felt like there was just like a way. There had to be a way. And I drove back that night, and I got there in the morning. So I drove like 4 hours within like a little bit of time. At least I got to say hi, you know, and drop off my guitar and breathe a little bit. But yeah, I went back, and the son was so surprised to see me, bro. Like, he was just like, you could see that he was up crying all night. Like, his dad was leaving, and like, he was my best friend, bro. Like, he's my new best friend. And we were so cool with each other. Like we just like kind of did like own walks on the beach, like throughout lunch break and stuff like that. Cause his dad's, you know, like his dad has terminal brain cancer, bro. And like, I grew up with my whole life with my dad having cancer. Like, it was different, and like that dad like took me up from the streets, you know what I mean? So I did call him dad too. And like we were just like this like if anyone like hopped out in doubt, like our soul wasn't like highlighted, like we knew it was for the sake of like my boss, you know. And there was a time where we were all in the kitchen and he was talking about a year, and he got swallowed up. Like he got very very swallowed up in our pre-makes, you know, of the kitchen stuff. So he had less than a year to live. And that wasn't, you know, that's just, yeah. So I got back there and his son was so surprised. And then my boss started getting a little bit, I did regret it then, because I startled him when he already detached, and he came back and he pushed me back out. He gave me like an early lunch break and asked me if I was coming back. And I go, yeah, you know, what do you mean? You know? And he gave, you know, like he like hinted to my passenger check. So that's it. So I kind of got like, for my own safety, I don't know how they are. I just pray for my dad, and I guess he's just gonna go down to this house that he was loyal to for so many years, and for his last year, I don't know. But his son is still there. Is he gonna put his son in the same situation? If he's passing away from it, if anything, that should just be awareness to leave. Because if it's like 35 years of having like that on your head for like 8 hours at a time, it's just a parasite. It's just a tick, bro. It was so nuts, bro. Like my spine just got like ripped out. Reestablish my spine. Isn't it? So those clouds. It's crazy. You see those? We're talking about the ones like on the horizon. You know? Those are pretty clouds. So, I have $800 in my account. And I gotta get another job. Because I practically like, got kicked out for the sake of like their love for me. And then, yeah. One left from lunch break. I followed him. Well, actually, he just dead ass left. Like, yeah. So, one left. I think another, I don't know if dude with the red eyes, I feel like he also eventually scooted up. And then, yeah, I just hope that place is just shut down all along. And I pray for things like that to be gone. I pray that it's shut down in the sake of my boss getting a new job and spending the last year of his life in harmony with himself, and for the safety of his own son as well. So that's it. So I at least have this month's security, so that's nice. And I don't know what location I'm gonna be. It's starting to get hot. It's starting to get really warm. So I don't know if I'm gonna go back home. My parents are thrilled with this mission, I guess, and this mission in transition and vacation, because I definitely see it as a vacation. It was a really good spot. It's a really good place. But I do kind of miss some of my nephews and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on, but that was my story time. I'm back on jobless, but I do have full dignity and a whole, like, I could pass away just with that testimony, with that finding, with that treasure. When I did say, you know, I think I'm coming down here, like, I'm meeting someone here, like, I came down here for a reason. Like, that's the only thing that was in my head, bro. Like, after that, like, it wasn't finding a guy, it wasn't like, you know, changing my whole style and like all this stuff. Like, it was like, bro, like shutting a whole house down. So yeah, it was awesome. And like, justice, bro, like liberty and justice to that. Like, see, I never felt that he was cursing the Lord at all. He never like had the spirit of cursing the Lord as of why me or anything like that, like the sake of cancer. But once he figured it out that it was a man-made situation, that's when it was like full betrayal of loyalty. And like his marriage to this house, it was just severe heartbreak. It was like, I don't know what was more aching, like the internal or the external thing, but both of them like had so much light shining through it, and he was so supportive and happy, like, of anything. Like, literally, like, free will just broke loose in that house. Free will, bro. Like I was leaning on free will on my good side. Yeah, free will. That has an internally in ties. So to just go, just pick up and leave, that's my free will, and it's your free will to stay after this knowledge, which I choose not to, you know. But he was very thrilled to figure out that it wasn't like, you know, that he's not going to see his son get married or anything like that. You know, it wasn't anything of just nature of like a curse. It wasn't like a curse, but it was something that was in his environment and that he can take anyone else away from, at least under his own wing. And I hope to spread it as well through this video. So yeah, it was a lot within a month. So, or like a little less than a couple weeks. Like, once that breakthrough was nuts. But yeah, I'm back in, and that's story time. So right now, what do we have for breakfast? We have the breakfast. I'm not gonna show me eating it because this is probably gonna be one of my new favorites, but I have 0 calorie sugar-free syrup, so it's only 15 calories. It is 5 carbs, but I'm not really counting my carbs. I've been no carby, all Barbie. No Barbie, all carby. Okay, so I've been eating carbs pretty hard. I've just been eating fruits and stuff like that. I like fasted down on carbs. Like, I was eating like 4 cups of oatmeal per day and like feeling so full, but then that was only like 600 calories a day. Like, I did that for like 2 weeks. Like, I was so full. You know what I mean? Like, I could have 3 blocks of tofu. That's 777. That's 2,100 calories. You know what I mean? And that stuff's just so thin to digest. So I'm having this sugar-free syrup with tofu. Okay, it has the same texture as, I can make it either a pancake or eggs, and then I have salt too, so I can make up for like bacon or like eggs, like syrupy eggs, you know, because I want like IHOP and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do that, and then I got Sam's Cola, and then I'm gonna crochet and clean this car because I gotta look for more income. I gotta look for another spot. So thank you, Lord, for this mission, and I hope to find a job. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Thank you, guys.